What's up, y'all? Welcome to the podcast, How to Quit Vaping. Just want to cover a couple things this week. Some news, vaping tips and tricks, some vaping culture stuff, and kind of some product review stuff. I think I just want to top off with the name of this podcast, which is Quitting Vaping, which I think is one thing that is a goal for like every vapor, I feel like. But I also think that there's also kind of a lot of things in like what really is it? You know what I mean? Not like some psychological, philosophical, philosophic question, but it's being targeted a lot by like different things online. You got like politicians coming after it, legislation coming after it, big corporations coming after it. So it's just kind of crazy how far vaping has gone in terms of like everything going on and just the movements with it. I felt like it really just started off like not too long ago, to be honest. Just saw Jules, and I think even before that, it was kind of like these hookah pen type things. Like it's kind of crazy. Like I wasn't really sure that I was ever really gonna be into that. It's just like something that you don't really think about. But honestly, as like the time goes on, you see it around. People like start getting in your ear about it, and then now you want to try all of a sudden. So I felt like a lot of people they kind of like felt that maybe it was all right, kind of safe in the beginning, but here we are now. It's kind of like a weird thing going on in the culture right now, for sure. Honestly, when it comes to vaping, like it's been around for a long time. I know they like invented it way back in like the 1900s, to be honest. And like when it comes to just the innovations from like a cigarette to a device you can like vape on, that's crazy. Let me see if I can pull up like the um original vape, because that shit's kind of crazy. Like original vaping device. And when I pull this shit up, it's almost kind of made in like the 1927. That's insanity. I'm about to throw it up here in the fucking um video, but honestly, when you're coming from 1927 to this, all of a sudden you got these fucking puff bars, you got flans, colorful things. It is kind of like a new devil for real. So I understand when it gets like super controversial, start throwing bans on there, but it's like damn, like what the fuck is gonna happen? It's like, are we just not gonna be able to have that alternative? Are we not gonna be able to have like that fucking you know, not smoking era? It's just like people are gonna go back to cigarettes type shit. But honestly, that's kind of what it seems like with all these like regulations, all these like different things. But I'm just hoping that we stay in the news, we stay like up and talking about this. Hopefully, it doesn't get completely banned. But who knows when they just push in like regular ass flavors? It's like who really knows? You know what I mean? But yeah, for sure. So honestly, all positive vibes. I don't think there's been really anything too controversial in vaping so far, but I do know, as of reporting this, is like I was able to buy some flavor vapes in my city. So I'm in California, and I know they have been banned and all that shit. So it's just kind of interesting to kind of figure out like, is this shit like really rolling in action, or are people like really kind of not abiding by the rule, or what even is the rule? Because I know you can buy vapes online. You could still do that. There's other kinds of vapes, disposable ones, and yeah, but they want to ban like all the fruit, like refillable packs, and almost like a whole vape stores they want to get rid of. So I think that's crazy, but honestly, I think it's whatever. To be honest, chill out. It's gonna play out, but you gotta kind of like pay attention, because if you don't really care, then all that's just gonna go away for sure, for sure. This is part of the podcast. Take a little hit. Heck yeah, this is the film I just reviewed this week. Um, think it's pretty good. It's okay. I give it a 3. It's really just a fucking pineapple-y like punch, but fruity Hawaii. It's okay. It's all right. Get that nick. Don't really get too in depth, but honestly, like that whole thing with nicotine is also weird, cause when you're doing this, it's like I honestly didn't know when we started vaping that there was like drugs in this. If that's crazy. Obviously, there's like chemicals and stuff to make the vape come out, but when you're talking about like nicotine, even people now they don't even understand what nicotine is. You tell somebody what weed is, they get an understanding. Coke, meth, not to get too fucking crazy with it, but you tell somebody about nicotine, you tell somebody about nicotine, start coughing up, they start not playing, they start just getting all confused and stuff. It's like not that complicated to understand that it's like an addictive drug. It's not really something that's good for you, honestly. But like for sure, people do have the misconception that like vapes are or they did have it that it was super like not as bad as smoking. But honestly, if you're inhaling any kind of real shit, you're probably not really, you know, being too smart about your health. But in terms of cigarettes, it's clear the studies show that it is not as harmful as that, but still have to figure out like what's going on in a couple years. But from my understanding, our science is pretty, we're up here in the modern era, so people know whether or not these shits are good or bad right now. They don't have to wait like 10, 20 years. Yeah, we could get that data, but people kind of have an idea right now. And we do know that there's some different kind of like um, lung illnesses if you're not getting it from like a proper shop, and like there's people that black market this shit. So there are illnesses when associated with vapes, but not stuff that's like really bought at your 7-Eleven, right? At your like Target, if they have any vapes, which I feel like they used to, or some shit, but they just got rid of them. I don't even know if they have like cigs anymore, but honestly, like if you're getting it from a store like that, usually for the most part it's gonna be legit, to be honest. But like once people were banning it and everything, you get into the risk of just getting that black market shit. And vaping is already getting a bad rap as it is. So when you throw that shit in the mix, it's like a whole fucking campfire. But honestly, just recreational. There's nothing really to it. You could argue all day about it, but honestly, what vaping is honestly kind of just a recreational drug. Um, Honestly, I feel like there is a vaping culture that has emerged, whether it's a meme or not, Vape Nation, but people like this shit. It's been around almost a decade. It's probably been bubbling for like a decade now. We're in the 2020s, obviously, and we're getting bans on this shit now, so kind of fucking crazy when you think about it. In the course of history, is it really gonna be that big of a deal? But I feel like this is our prohibition era almost. Like, who never really fucking knows? Because it's like really out here, like getting crazy. People are really trying to out here ban this shit point blank, period. So that's just a little spooky, but just keep smoking on their packs. Who really gives a fuck? Um, Honestly, though, when it comes to reviews, I want to give like the best ones for a lot of people. I want to give clear ideas, clear um, just understandings of what these products are, because people just think it's a smoke and that's it. But this gives you an effect in your head. This gives you like a different like feeling. So you should be able to be aware of that. Nothing to fuck around with. This ain't no like slushy. This is like you should almost think of it as a drug. But it obviously it's in a colorful package. Tastes like fruit or like some sweet sugary thing. And honestly, I could see where the faults are in this, but you're not able to really get these as me as an adult, it's sometimes hard to get these. Like, I be getting ID'd and like even pushed around, but I'm of age and I could get this shit. So it's kind of crazy when um it's just like pounded on repeatedly in the law. Like, oh, we gotta get rid of these shits completely. So I think laws are effective and they work because obviously a lot of people can't get this shit no more, but people still get it no matter what. And I feel like the normal consumer like me wasn't able to get it anymore, but somehow these fucking middle schoolers and high schoolers are getting this shit when it's not even the demo. But they do argue that stuff is promoted to them, so who really knows? I'm really out here just doing shit for adults. This shit is for adults. Nobody really does alcohol ads for kids. At least it's not in like the 80s or some shit like that. But honestly, I'm here for just like recreational purposes. People shit on vaping, understandably so, but people shit on a lot of things, you know what I mean? Just live your life. If you fuck with vaping, if this is what you're doing right now, maybe think about why it is that you picked up vaping. Me, I could say it's recreational. It's a drug. It's something I pick up on and off. You could call that an addiction. I won't say it's an addiction. Are you addicted to water? I don't think you're addicted to water. You kind of just like you need it. That's kind of a bad comparison. But if you could get what I'm trying to pick at, you know what I mean. But I feel like this does have an end to it. I've never been on a cigarette. I've never been on like some pack a day type shit. I never really picked up cigs, and I'm glad I didn't. But honestly, this doesn't feel like I'm stuck to it. I don't have to hit this when I'm up every day in the morning. But there is that path where people do choose that. So, and not even on purpose either. It just happens because of the nicotine aspect. So you got to really be careful with the shit that you're putting in your body, whether or not you can handle it. And even if you want to start this, it's just like alcohol. Like if when you're cracking open of these, you got to think about it like a beer, like bottle of wine. So fucking Jack, you're cracking open a drug that you don't know how it's gonna fuck up your brain, you know? Even if it's that first time. That first time's gonna get you hooked, maybe. But honestly, positive vibes here. There's a there's options with no nicotine. There's just vapes that have pretty much air. There's vapes that don't even have like the clouds that you see. So um, there's different options. I don't think it's really that worrisome. But honestly, these are gonna keep on selling, and other products and companies are gonna keep making them, whether it's in this form, another form. I think it's just interesting to see how we can figure out more about these and just tell people like, hey, like, okay, these are the cool ones, or these are the ones that are bad, and these are the ones you should get. So I feel like that's the purpose of the channel, the community, and just giving hella reviews on this shit. So thank y'all for checking out this short podcast. I really appreciate it. I know we covered like the news a little bit, some like culture shit, the product reviews, but I just really want to expand on this, talk about it a little bit more, maybe build like a little community around this stuff. I don't know if like a lot of people talk about this. Sure, there's a shit ton of videos on vaping on YouTube, but I know we also get pushed aside, demonetized, and just like shit on as well by like 420 YouTubers and everything. But I'm a 420 motherfucker too, so I don't give a fuck. I'm just here in the vein circle, just you know what I mean, chilling. But thank y'all for checking out this podcast. I hope y'all found it chill. Hope y'all smoked up with me. Do this one more. But yeah, I just want to bring the conversation of vaping, talk about it maybe weekly, and we'll see where this goes. Thank you for checking this out. Peace.